On a stormy night in March 2020, Lisa was found dead in her bedroom, a tragic event that would unravel a web of betrayal, forbidden desires, and deadly consequences. Lisa, a vibrant woman in her late 30s, seemed to have it all: a loving husband, John, and a stable life in the bustling city of Mexico City. But behind closed doors, secrets festered and forbidden passions brewed. John, a hard-working man in his early 40s, had always believed in the sanctity of his marriage. But his discovery of Lisa's secret affair with his own father, Harold, a charming but manipulative man in his late 60s, would shatter his world. The story unfolds with layers of suspense, shocking revelations, and a climactic confrontation that ends in murder. As the rain pours relentlessly, each drop echoes the tension and heartbreak of a family torn apart by deceit and betrayal. The rain hammered against the windows, a relentless rhythm that mirrored John's turbulent thoughts. It was a night like no other. The police sirens wailed in the distance, cutting through the heavy downpour as officers arrived at the scene. Lisa's lifeless body lay sprawled on the bed, her once radiant face now pale and cold. The room was a chaotic mix of overturned furniture, broken glass, and the lingering scent of perfume. Detective Martinez, a seasoned investigator with sharp eyes, surveyed the scene. "Who found the body?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with urgency. "The husband," replied Officer Ruiz, pointing to John, who sat in the living room, his hands trembling. His face was a mask of grief and confusion. John looked up as the detective approached. I came home and found her like this," he stammered, his voice barely audible. Martinez studied him closely. "Did you notice anything unusual before tonight?" John hesitated, his mind racing back to the events that had led to this night. The fights, the late-night phone calls Lisa tried to hide, and the growing distance between them. But nothing could have prepared him for what he would soon uncover. Just a few months earlier, life had seemed idyllic. John and Lisa had celebrated their anniversary with a small gathering of friends and family. Harold, John's father, had been the life of the party, regaling everyone with tales from his younger days. Lisa had laughed a little too loudly at his jokes, her eyes lingering on Harold a little too long. But John dismissed it as harmless fun. However, cracks began to appear. Lisa's behavior grew erratic. She became secretive, spending hours locked away in their bedroom, claiming she needed space. One evening, John found a text message on her phone that made his blood run cold. It was from Harold, and it was anything but innocent. Unable to ignore his suspicions, John decided to investigate. He followed Lisa one rainy evening, his heart pounding as he trailed her car through the slick, glistening streets. She parked outside a motel on the outskirts of the city. Moments later, Harold arrived. The sight of his wife and father entering the room together was a blow he could scarcely comprehend. John's world crumbled. He confronted Lisa that night, but she denied everything, accusing him of paranoia. Harold, ever the smooth talker, played the role of the concerned father, insisting there was nothing untoward. But John knew better. It was a week later when John's worst fears were confirmed. He arrived home earlier than expected one afternoon, the storm clouds gathering ominously overhead. As he entered the house, he heard muffled voices and laughter coming from the bedroom. His heart raced as he climbed the stairs, the creak of each step swallowed by the roaring thunder. John pushed open the bedroom door, and the scene before him froze him in place. Lisa and Harold were entwined on the bed, their passion blatant and undeniable. The intimacy between them was a cruel mockery of the vows Lisa had once exchanged with John. Lisa gasped, pulling the sheets around her. Harold, ever the charmer, smirked as though daring John to react. The room was thick with tension, the storm outside mirroring the tempest within John's soul. "How could you?" John's voice cracked with betrayal, his hands trembling at his sides. Lisa's defiance gave way to fear. "John, it's not what it looks like." "Not what it looks like?" John roared, his voice a mix of anguish and fury. "You've been lying to me, both of you." Harold stood, attempting to placate his son. "Now, let's all calm down. These things happen." But John wasn't listening. He stormed out of the room, his mind racing. The betrayal was too much to bear. The love he'd once felt for Lisa turned into a seething rage, and the respect he'd had for his father was obliterated in an instant. The truth came to light during a heated argument on the fateful night of Lisa's death. John's pent-up anger boiled over as he accused her of infidelity. Lisa, cornered, finally admitted to the affair, her defiance igniting a violent clash. Harold arrived in the midst of their fight, attempting to intervene but only fueling John's fury. In the chaos, a fight broke out between John and Harold. The rain outside intensified, thunder rumbling as if echoing their rage. In the struggle, John grabbed a heavy object and struck Harold, leaving him unconscious. Turning to Lisa, his anger blinded him. A single, fatal blow ended her life. John sat in the wreckage of his life, the rain washing away his tears. He called the police, fabricating a story about an intruder. But Detective Martinez's keen instincts saw through the lies. Piece by piece, the truth emerged, unraveling the tragic tale of betrayal and vengeance. As the story concludes, the viewer is left to ponder the devastating consequences of secrets and the fragility of trust. The rain finally ceases, leaving behind a broken family and a haunting lesson about the price of betrayal.